So just to kind of give you kind of a warm welcome to the Blavatnik School of Government. This is quite a new school. We're only celebrating our 10-year anniversary in September. So, follow us. Things are going to be quite exciting. And this is quite a small school. We have, basically 2 degrees, a small-ish MPP program with about 120, 140 students a year, and kind of a smallish, actually not smallish, a small PhD program with about 5 to 6 students a year. And we have students coming from kind of all over the world, from all different ages, and they're all united in their kind of willingness and interest in making the world a better place through public service and through improving government. And so every time we have a chance of hearing from someone who is actually doing that in their personal life, we're always delighted to welcome them, right? And so I'm just not going to talk for very long, but one thing I'm always very excited about the school is it's, we always say we learn a lot from our students, but I think at the school is especially true, right? A few days ago, I will sadly admit that I did not know about Governor Ridwan, and now I found out about someone who's actually doing something that's really, really impressive, right? Somebody who went from being kind of an award-winning architect to a politician who's running, a province in Indonesia that's as big as Spain. And so what I really want to understand, hopefully we can hear him talk about kind of what drove his decision to kind of leave his kind of private practice and turn into kind of somebody who seeks office, right? This is often a very, very difficult decision in a lot of countries where politics is very dynastic, kind of having kind of being a newcomer is often something that's very challenging. And so understanding how he decided to run is something that I'm kind of really interested. But also, you might not know, but Ridwan has 15 million followers on Instagram. 15.5. Okay, I apologize. And I think that's something that kind of coming to the fore as well with kind of electoral campaign. Like, how do politicians use social media, how they use it to interact with voters, and how that kind of interact with regular media, and how you kind of use it for good rather than kind of use it for bad, as something we've seen in other countries. And so I will stop now. I will just kind of give the floor back to Amir, who's going to lead the discussion. And I think at the end, I just want to make sure we hear Ridwan's view on our building, the quality of its architecture. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Julian, for such a great opening. So we are here to talk about transforming local governments, and I want to highlight why it's such an important topic. So across the world, there's an increasing role in local governments to provide public services and social welfare programs that are highly essential for development. And this is especially very relevant for Indonesia, considering that democratization happened in 1998, and afterward we experienced a big bang decentralization in which local governments get a lot more authorities, also followed by direct election in 2005, in which voters can directly vote for their governors, mayors, and regions. And all these events have given birth towards a new set of local leaders who run on reformist platform. And Governor Ridwan Kamil here is one of the example of those reformist leaders. So he used to be an architect and academic, chose to run for office, got elected as mayor, and was very well known in doing urban transformation, creating public spaces, and also making cities more livable. So I was your citizen in Bandung, so I know precisely what he did. And then he got reelected as mayor, and now as governor. So it'll be very interesting to understand his journey. And so the first question I want to ask you that Julian mentioned, so why did you choose to enter politics when you already had a role as an architect, academic, social activist? Like, what gives you that drive to decide to run for office?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. Impressive building.
Oh.
I give you 9 out of 10. As an architect, very nice building. Very nice. And of course, my history coming to politics is not a usual one. I tell you why. I was having a good time as an architect. We have around 50 architects under my firm, but returning after working in US, in Hong Kong for some years, I see my hometown, the city of Bandung, is not well managed. Nobody walks the city, very dark at night, corruption news here and there. And then I decided to help by creating a series of civil society movements. So how you give back to society in that time, I created a series of civil society. So you can call me an ex of civil society. So I created a movement called Indonesia Urban Farming Movement. It's basically inviting urban citizens to use empty, unused space to become more green and planting eatable green. I created also Bandung Creative City Forum, organizing all community sector in terms of creative to come together and do something. One moment why I decided to go to politics is I designed some creative space under the bridge, 700 meters long, and very expensive idea. But the city was like no reaction. Wow, yeah, I was a national architect. This design must be super expensive when it comes to ideas. And then I know, very difficult to change the mind. So I said, let's take over the city.
Take it over.
It's like a Bruce Wayne take over the Gotham City. So
Dramatic.
So then I asked my friend, what should I do to take over the city? Oh, Ridwan, you have to go to election. You have to be part of this practical politics. Yeah. Then Indonesia, country with the size of 270 million, blessed with democracy. Okay? It's a Western democracy, but adopted, adjusted to our local wisdom. So we call it democracy Pancasila. As you know, I see some of you not from Indonesia. I tell you, the foundation of our nation comes in 5 values. Number 1, belief in God. Yeah. That's why if Indonesian being religious is part of the value. Second is humanity. If you Google, the most generous society in the world is Indonesia. Ini wajahnya orang-orang susah, tapi kalau nemu orang susah pasti nolong. So I have to make a joke in local language. The third principle of our nation is nationalism. Why? Because Indonesia was formed coming out from a series of kingdoms. Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 big, small, medium kingdom united in the name of Indonesia. Why we are united? Because we were colonized by similar colonizer, which is the Dutch colonial government. So being Indonesia is because of historical destiny. Number 4 value of our nation is democracy. Panjangan kalau saya sebutkan sila keempat, tapi Soekarno said democracy. Number 5 is social justice. So that's why we are not a capitalistic per se country here. In capitalist context, you do competition. In Pancasila context, we do competition, yes, but we do cooperation. It means you can be rich as you want, but you have to have a space for underprivileged society. So this democracy is part of bless with 3 doors. Yeah. Number 1, if you go to become elected as a leader, you have to be a member of political party. That's one option. Second option, you are fully independent. Yeah, so it means you can be nominated by a certain percentage of city population to be nominated. I'm using the third door. I was independent but nominated by a party. Yeah. So up until now, I'm still independent. Myself, Mr. Anies Baswedan, the governor of Jakarta, Madam Kofifa of East Java. 3 governors in Java are independent, but during the election nominated by party. So it's a bless, because otherwise, person like myself cannot be run for leadership office if not of this one man, one vote election. So we are not like US, yeah, you have electoral college, means it's a different set, but in the Indonesia it's pure one man, one vote, popular vote kind of democracy. So to answer the story short, I was an angry citizen, yeah, coming to politics to fix things that I hate, that I think is not good. So that's why you see the series of my movement, my decision, my innovation, it's because that motivation. Yeah, in Islamic value we have inamal amalu biniyat. Yeah, whatever you do is based on your motivation. So my motivation is really because I already very much independent economic wise as an architect. Yeah, so coming to politics is basically serving my time for public.
Okay, so channel your anger for
in a good way.
Yeah. So you enter politics because you had this drive in you, and reflecting on your 8 years time in office, using your political leadership to create changes, what would you consider to be your biggest achievements in policymaking as both mayors and governors? And what are the changes that you would still like to achieve as well?
Oh, so many things. Yeah. Leaders, definition of leaders is a decision makers. Okay. That's why you cannot vote the wrong person, because that person will make a decision for your education, for your healthcare, for your life. So make sure you vote to the right person. Yeah, that's how I define politics. It's a means. Yeah, politics is a means to fulfill our aspiration. Yeah. For example, when I became a governor, I made a bold move. I make high school free. Yeah, before you have to pay. Then when I became a governor, I checked how the previous regime spent the money. Yeah, and I said, when I checked, they spent too much on something not very fundamental. So I make it very efficient. So I channel some budget and I declare it, during my administration, all the school must be free tuition, for example. So that's how you define the leadership. Yeah, leadership is basically making a good decision. Sometimes blunder decision also. That's why I have a philosophy: good data, good decision. Bad data, bad decision. No data, no decision. So during COVID, this is the toughest time of my entire life. Saving the life of 50 million, can you imagine? Yeah, it's very tough. Yeah, and I was happily relieved that I can manage to have the biggest in the country, 80 million vaccine to my people. That's why today COVID is under control. Last week declared no mask regulation anymore on outdoor. Yeah, so that's basically how I define the leader. And every day, always problem. 90% input to my brain every day is problem. Mr. Governor, street demonstration. Mr. Governor, cooking oil price is jumping. Yeah, Mr. Governor, economic crisis. Mr. Governor, how to find oxygen for victim of COVID. So if you if you see, or mapping my brain is basically every day is trying to solve problem, which is okay, because that's one of the reason I become leader, is helping people, solving a problem. I cannot say which one is the biggest achievement. I have 500 more awards
Impressive.
during my 8 years as a leader. Award in the local level, national level, international level. But I told my team, you have to work because you have to, because it's a noble thing to do. It's not because you're expecting awards. Award is just a bonus. Yeah, if you work, love life, and life will love you back. That's also another philosophy. Yeah, so I try to enjoy life, loving life, and life will love you back also. So when you work with love, with passion, the result is very much significant. So when there is an award, for me, it's just an appreciation, a proof that there is change being observed by certain institution, that you are delivering change, yeah, from dark to light, from unruly to become organized, from slow to fast service, from corruption, and so on and so on. So I think I cannot say which one, yeah, but thanking from my citizen, that's the biggest achievement. I tell you a very lovely story. When I was a city mayor, because my background is architect and urban designer, so I design spaces and buildings. Yeah, I designed a tsunami museum in Aceh. I designed the biggest mosque floating on the water in Makassar. I designed many places in China before I became a city mayor. So during my time as a mayor, I created a project called Happiness Project. Yeah, why I call it Happiness Project? Because that's the reason we live, right? We are pursuing happiness. So I did some research inspired by the Bhutan Happiness Index. What makes you happy? It's not always materiality. When I check, social interaction makes you happy, right? Because I don't know the Latin term, but in bahasa Indonesia, manusia makhluk bermain, kira-kira begitu ya. Nggak ngerti bahasa Inggrisnya apa. So basically, I translate one of the value of happiness into social interaction. So what I did, I fixed all the sidewalks, because walking is not the culture in that time. So I widened the sidewalks. I put quotes on the floor. In LA, you put names of celebrity on the floor. In my town, I put quotes from Habibie, from Nelson Mandela, from all leaders. So as you walk, you will see a series of very, life quotes from them. So now people start walking. Yeah, I put benches, very simple. Maybe in European context, that's common. But from my context, that's a luxury. Yeah? So I put benches, I put Wi-Fi. One day I remember an undergraduate student finishing thesis on the sidewalk. I said, what are you doing? Oh, Mr. Mayor, I'm finishing my thesis because it's free Wi-Fi. While the bus is crisscrossing the street. So it's beautiful. Then one day, I did some bicycling. It's like old lady came to me. Pak Ridwan, can I talk to you? Yes, ma'am. What can I do? He said, Pak Ridwan, before you came as a mayor, my children, if they want to have a happiness, we had to go to shopping mall. The first 2 weeks of the month, we have money. It's okay. But the last 2 weeks of the month, we don't have money. My children were crying. So it's very stressful. But since you created so many of gardens, yeah, I created like 15 more gardens. My children, Mr. Mayor, now they just want to up and off to different garden, and I can bring food from my home without buying, and my children are happy, Pak Ridwan, and we save money. Yeah, so that moment, my biggest achievement. It means
making people happy.
Yeah, making my people happy because of my decision. As a leader, you have two options every day. Either you just sit around, yeah, do pencitraan atau
Like,
Apa pencitraan? Or you do something with a risk, yeah. So I choose the second one. I made lots of decisions, some great decisions, some not great decision, because underestimating the social quality and so on and so on. So again, my reward as a leader is when appreciation coming from my citizens, because they are very genuine. Yeah, they make a song for me during COVID. It was very beautiful because Pak Kamil pokoknya intinya please be strong. We need you, yeah, by the form of song. Some high school creating a love letter to me, yeah, saying good things and appreciating. So many form of appreciation, including the story of that old lady. That's what keeps me energized. Yeah, becoming a leader is because I see change that become materialized into the public realm. So that's my biggest achievement. So.
That's very interesting. So you would say that majority of your achievements are creating those public facilities and public services and those things that maybe most of us who have lived abroad just feel that it's common. But if you look back at certain countries, especially in developing countries, those are luxuries and they matter a lot to people who are not, who are from the lower incomes. So, so my question to you is that, so you have all these policies and all this ambition of creating, many public
Just
facilities.
1 second.
Oh,
Slide-nya nggak nyambung. Kalau saya bicara happiness, di Google aja gambar-gambar orang happy. Jadi ini buat asisten sorot saya.
Yeah, this is just
Belum
as an
sampai-
additional
belum sampai ke
background,
sini.
but we'll get back to the slide. So just focus on the conversation for now. Yeah. So back into a lot of your ambitions about creating new public facilities, giving better public services, but many reformist leaders like you inherit bureaucracies that might be low in capacities, are not used to delivering good public service, are not used to innovations, but you need them to implement all this grand ideas and you have a lot of creativities. How do you work with the bureaucrats?
You can imagine, yeah, Julian. When I was an architect, I was having 50 creative individuals as my assistant. Yeah, quick response, full of great ideas. And suddenly, moving to bureaucracy. It's a big group, a bit slow, yeah. 1 day assignment takes 7 days finish, yeah, for example, and so on. But that's a problem statement again, yeah. So what I did that time was created a system using technology. So I'm very much a leader that believe that technology solve many things when human motivation or instruction cannot do. Yeah. So I created a smart city concept that time. I created a command center, for example. Where you have 100 apps of observing, connecting, communicating in one space. It's a decision-making support for the mayor, for example. Yeah, and then I know in bureaucracy theory, currently we have 4 stages. One is what we call it rule-based governance. Is very primitive. Yeah. You have to obey the rules. You cannot have innovation. If you don't have regulation, you cannot innovate. Remember Gojek during or online like Uber, for example, yeah. Uber or Gojek is already on the street doing some activity. Regulation we didn't have. Yeah. So sometimes regulation is too slow. Innovation is always steps ahead. Yeah. So this is majority in Indonesia still in this level. We call it rule-based governance. Some already moved to the second stage. We call it performance-based governance, reward and punishment bureaucracy. If you're good, we give you Adipura awards for clean the city, for example. Yeah, if you're good in managing your money, we have WTP awards, for example. Yeah, many awards. So, but and this is majority of Indonesia, bureaucracy level 1 and bureaucracy level 2. But the weakness of bureaucracy, reward punishment is good, but still have a weakness. They are thinking that what's happening in West Java must be the realm of bureaucracy. So no more collaboration. So that's what's happening in Indonesia today. So I moved to the third stage. We call it a dynamic governance. Yeah. So dynamic governance is basically I'm inviting all people who love West Java to join me, becoming the government, even though you are not a civil service PNS status, for example. So what I did, we have an issue of fake news everywhere in Indonesian context, especially in politics. So I created a working unit called anti-hoax unit. So I hire 20 strong millennials, strong with knowledge of IT. So every Monday, this working unit posts 5 fake news every Monday. Post the news that we think is fake to make sure people aware of this one. Yeah. People complain every day. Mr. Governor, in humanity crisis, yeah, there is a landslide, Mr. Governor, there is a poor person in hospital, Mr. Governor, many humanity issues. So I created what we call it Jabar Quick Response. It's a humanity working unit within 24 hours must respond the humanity crisis. Yeah. So I hire again civil society coming to government, part of my public service, but not PNS, not a civil service. Third example, copying London digital service. So I created West Java digital service. I'm inviting, I hired 40 bright young individual to be part of my government without the status of public service, working to deliver answer to a public service. Yeah, one issue, one application, one apps. Yeah, 1,000 issue, 1,000 apps. During COVID, we have super apps called Picobar, managing the COVID, with almost 40 features, from the data updates, from how to find the vaccine center, how to donate money, how to find oxygen, right? To check which hospital is empty, which hospital is full, so many things in one super apps. So that's how I transform the bureaucracy using technology, because I cannot rely too much on, verbal order, and this is happening in West Java. Technology is become the ideology in reforming the government. Yeah. Last achievement that I'm very proud, I'm fighting corruption using technology. Yeah. There was 2 cases of corruption in West Java where the mayor got, caught by Corruption Commission (KPK). Is because you are got a bribe from the civil servant who wants to have a position. Yeah. So what I did, I'm using technology. I create an apps, yeah, where all the civil servant in my administration must be evaluated 360 degrees by the supervisor, by the colleague in the same level, and by the staff. So you cannot just be nice, looks good from the perspective of the supervisor, while you are cruel to your staff, because in my administration, staff is allowed to evaluate the boss. Okay, So by having these 360 evaluations, integrity, the capacity is evaluated by everybody. So at the end of the day, we have a pool of information. How many is smart and having good integrity? How many is low integrity, not so smart kind of individual. So every time I want to promote someone, this computer will give me information. I said, Siri, give me 3 names. Then computer will provide, Mr. Governor, this is the best for, say, education department head, because evaluation, capacity, education and integrity is the best way. By doing so, with technology, now I can sleep well at night. Yeah. Knowing the system is working without having too much of, personal interaction.
So this is my last question before Q&A, because I'm pretty sure everyone in here have great questions as well to the governor. So BSG mission is to create policy relevant research, but also to promote evidence-based policy making. And I know this in here, there are bright students who do research. So we would like to know, as a governor, what are the top insights that you want to look for from research? Maybe it could be an inspiration for dissertation topics.
Yeah, this is very important. I talk a long-term vision here. For Indonesia, it should be very proud. Today, Indonesia is number 16 in G20. We are having G20 presidency this year, right? It's a tough time because our G20 presidency happening with Russia and Ukraine war. So last week I was in Rome, sending a letter of invitation to the Pope Francis to come also, maybe sending a message in Bali during G20, hoping Russia, Ukraine also come to terms. Yeah. So this, and Indonesia predicted could be number 10 in the next 10 years. Okay. And 30 years from now, we are predicted number 4 after China, surpassing America, then India, then Indonesia. So we could be number 4. So imagining within 100 years, yeah, in 1945 we declare independence. 2045 we declare we are the advanced and also developed country. Yeah, and that's 2045 will be not my time. I'm already retired. Yeah, as a grandpa. Yeah, your time, the one that's sitting here, that's your time. 2045. You'll be the governor. You'll be the leader. You'll be the CEO of Unicorn, of Decacorn. You'll be the rector, the head of research, whatever. It's your time. Yeah. So I'm really hoping you are a privileged individual to be here in Oxford, in the UK. Yeah, while your counterpart million is still in Indonesia and not having a good quality education like what you have here. So you have to be grateful. So, but with a condition, okay? Indonesia could be number 4 as an advanced or developed nation with 3 conditions. You have to remember these 3. Nanti keluar di ujian. 1, political and social situation must be conducive. Yeah, no more fight on Instagram, on social media, on WhatsApp group. Yeah, about who you choose for president or who you choose for. Yeah, no more cebong kadrun. Yeah, otherwise country will be divided endlessly. Yeah, unproductively. While other nation building spaceship to the Mars, we are still fighting over, differences in choosing the leader. So I encourage you to be a peacemaker, to be a peace influencer. Yeah, you have to throw waters, not gasoline, to the conversation, and that's you. I need you to be part of this team. Yeah, so let's focus on our energy. Less to quarrel, less to fighting, more to, innovation, productivity, help me creating innovation in Indonesia. Second condition is we have to master 3 economy. Digital economy, yeah. That's why we won an award of West Java because we have a project called Digital Village. Yeah. As a governor, I make it digital inclusive because before digital is a domain of urban citizen. I said, no, I have to power the rural, people with digital. So digital economy. So don't be surprised if you come to West Java, the farmer feed the fish using mobile phone now. Yeah, feeding the chicken using mobile phone, IoT, finding the sea fish using application Fish Finder, because the satellite observe the change color of ocean, translated as lots of fish and sending to the apps. And every morning the fishermen using the apps to go to the coordinate to find the fish. 3 times productivity happening. So digital economy, that's your thing. Second economy is green economy. You have to be proud. Indonesia in 2050 will be a surplus of renewable energy from wind, from sun, from water, geothermal. Yeah. We will produce 450,000 megawatts. 300 million of Indonesian population will use only half of it. So it means we can sell to the world, we give to the world of renewable energy. Yeah. So we have to master this. And the third economy is creative economy. It's based on knowledge, based on idea. So hopefully, yeah, to be 2045, 3 economy, I need you to focus more or less. The third one condition is your generation or your children generation must be super productive, super competitive, having a global knowledge, global skills. That's why I'm fighting stunting every day. Yeah, I'm happy from 30% stunting, now only 13. So hopefully I push, because stunting means you have problem physically and you have problem also mentally, intellectually. So imagine 2045, 70% of our population will be under 40. If we don't do something now, 70% become the burden of nation instead of the machine of the nation. So that's basically more or less, yeah, the introduction. Why the reason I become a leader. I'm using innovation as my philosophy. My motivation is always the same, never change. Yeah, and let's go together 2045. Yeah, with a peaceful social and political situation. Okay, with mastering these 3 economy and also be competitive and productive generation. That's how we will go and become a great nation.
Okay. So now I will be opening the Q&A session. I will start with 3 questions first. And okay, Winnie, dear, Alris, just say your name, affiliations, and also like really concise question. Go.
Hi, Ridwan.
Hello.
I'm Winnie. I'm one of the students in Master of Public Policy, Blavatnik School of Government. My family lives in Bekasi, so one of your constituents as well. My question would be regarding the green economy of Indonesia, especially on the side of renewable energy. As we know, currently the renewable energy mix is no more than 12% in Indonesia. So my question would be divided into 3 parts. First, what's the role of subnational government, like the government of West Java, in contributing to the overarching renewable energy mix of the country? Because I know that West Java is filled with potential such as geothermal that can provide baseload electricity compared to coal. Second, how do you see technology will play a role in promoting more sustainable energy and more sustainable economy from both the provincial side of it and the national side of it? And third of all, how's your take on the role of youth and civil movement in climate change, in climate action in Indonesia?
Okay, just one by one, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then before we forget, then if you want to answer Winnie's question
Yes.
first, and then we go to.
Yeah, I think first of all, as I said, let's be grateful. Yeah, according to Stanford University, will be 2050 we can be 100%. Currently only 12%. And my answer is political. We have all the resources, but the willingness is not there. That's my observation. The problem in Indonesia is monopolized by PLN. So many investors complain to me, Ridwan, when we have a difficulty negotiating the price with PLN. So I think we need to reform the power company, because that's the key. Because now they are enjoying cheap energy from coal, and the price of renewable energy is 2 or 3 times. Either the government subsidize the gap, yeah, or you increase the price to the market, which is very unpopular for a politician to increase the price. So that's the challenge. So what I'm doing now, I'm motivating people to invest in renewable energy, but use within the radius of their activities. Yeah. For example, this is the loophole. Yeah. In Bekasi, we have an industrial zone using their own power generator, but currently using gas. But I said to them, look, let's create and convert to more environmental friendly. And we are very progressive. You can compare to other provinces. I'm not saying we are the best, but because I'm into the green. We are now building the biggest solar panel farming in ASEAN, floating on the water with Masdar Abu Dhabi. Okay, we are having the biggest reserve for geothermal. It's only 10% now used. Okay, we are building a wind turbine in Garut, in Sukabumi. Okay, we are building the biggest factory for EV with Hyundai in Karawang. We are building the battery for EV, and the president talked to Elon Musk for building the battery facility. So I think we are, and I'm the only governor driving EV every day. Yeah, so it's still a long way to go. So I'm hoping, somebody will make a political decision, because all the recipe, all the factor is already there. You just go or no go. Because the most expensive thing coming from a leader is political will. Yeah, that's why, we have 500 local leaders, but if they don't make decision, yeah, it's no. Then second one is, yeah, the role of technology. I think I have explained to you is, for example, yeah, what is crisis? Crisis is a forced change. Yeah, without crisis, we are changing, but very slow. Yeah, in very smooth transition. Because of crisis now, nobody can go to school by force. We have to do Zoom. We have to do the online meeting, online education. And I said, look, do not stop. So after COVID under control, let's continue some of our lifestyle into online interaction, not all, yeah. So what's happening? You reduce the carbon footprint, yeah. First, because you don't have to walk, or you don't have to drive, you don't have to spend money for gasoline, for just some regular meeting. Just finish by Zoom. If you can finish by Zoom, why you have to meet? Yeah. So now as a government, I'm researching, maybe if you can help me, yeah? I'm researching which kind of job description can be permanently work from home. So I will make a definition of that to my 9,000 civil service job. Yeah. Some will have to meet, go to office 9 to 5, but some will permanently from anywhere or from home. And the role of youth is, of course, important because you are the driver, you are the trendsetter, okay? The young generation now use mobile phone for everything. Yeah, not my generation, not my mom generations. Yeah, smartphone is very important, but use it for a good reason and activity. But always there is a dark side of this internet. Yeah, the fake news. You know already, yeah. Netizen terjulid se-Asia Pasifik. It's Indonesian netizen, right? Microsoft survey, and they said, mana bahasanya?
Indonesian netizens are probably the most
Yeah.
aggressive and
Aggressive and unpolite netizen all Asia Pacific is Indonesian netizen, yeah, basically. So that's the dark side of this without social maturity. So that's basically the answer.
Okay, second question, and then how about like we just prep everything?
We don't have a lot of time, so please ask a short question.
Yeah,
The
just like
question
once.
Answer the question mark.
Let's just take all the questions together so you can.
Oh yeah, I am not very good memorizing.
Okay, really quickly then, and then short answer.
What time we have to end the session so I can
It's
control the time?
7:30, so we have.
Oh, 7:30.
Yeah, we can extend a little bit if like everyone in the audience is okay with it. Okay.
Yeah, we can extend until midnight. Okay.
I just curious from Pak Kamil that you thought that the key point to transforming the local governance by technology. I mean, technology is key points to transforming the local government. But the question is, what is the challenge or the obstacle with the technology? I mean, generally technology is running well. So how to address with the technology that you feel is running well in your with your experience in Bandung and in West Java?
Yeah, the basic one is, of course, we have to make sure infrastructure of technology is in place everywhere. That's why I have a concept of digital village. We cannot do that without internet connection. Now it's good, yeah. We install every village center with computer for e-commerce with Shopee as a donor. So now people live in the village, just go to village center, selling whatever. Yeah. So I have a concept of inviting urban generation to go back to rural, live in rural but make urban money, urban income. So that's my philosophy now, and it's happening. 2 months ago, I make a graduation for 1,200 individual after 1 year living in a rural village but making urban income. Why? Because the business is food and digital combined, yeah, from production, from selling, and so on and so on. So first is of course the existence of the basic technology is internet access is a mandatory to create this vision. That's why I created a vision called Digital West Java, from e-government, from e-commerce, from mobile phone as a production, not as a mean of communication only, and so on and so on. But again, there is a dark side of this technology. That's why I created Jabar Anti-Hoax Unit, yeah, as part of that solution. And before I arrive, all departments, they don't have an admin to the social media. Now they have a very interactive admin hosting, managing the account. Yeah.
Next question. And next.
Hello, Pak. My name is Alris, Pak. Currently a student here at Oxford, but real affiliation is with Tanah Pasundan. And I just want to have one question, very simple. If you didn't win back then when you were mayor, Pak, what do you think would you be?
I'm very multidimensional person. I believe life is beautiful. If we exist only with one dimension, it's a waste of this beautiful life. I was associate professor. Yeah, that's my dimension. I was associate professor in architecture. I lecture around the world, to Scandinavia, to Europe also.
I don't know the actor one.
Yes, I was a practicing architect, designing buildings, spaces, cities. I was in the movie for 15 films, yeah, but only in the cameos, short one. I was radio announcer. I was a TV presenter. I was a social activist, movement founder, and many more. So if I didn't win, I just find any role that makes me happy, of course, first, but useful. In Islamic saying, we have a word called khairunas anfa'uhum linnas. The best person is basically who give his energy to people, to others. So I'm channeling my energy until I'm not exist. Whatever I do in the form of knowledge sharing like this, useful in the form of making decision as a leader now, designing something useful for the people, connecting network, whatever that makes my life useful for society.
My name is Abir. I'm a DPhil student. I work on political economy of upgrading and learning. So my question is, even if we leave South Korea, Japan, Taiwan aside, even in the region that Indonesia is from, Malaysia, with a much smaller population, has done a lot more upgrading and diversification of export. China, with a much larger population, has done really well in upgrading and diversification. As you said, you are keen to learn from the past. What do you think went wrong? Why could Indonesia not upgrade or diversify as fast and still stuck in commodities export?
We are changing now. Yeah, remember, if you read the news, last couple of months, the president declared not to export raw material. We have one of the biggest resources for nickel. Nickel is for the EV battery, right? So we created that policy. Instead of just selling for, say, X dollar, by having the factory producing the battery and sell the end product to the world, is like 10 times income. Pak Jokowi said, 2014, when we just selling commodity, is the export is only $2 billion, if I'm not mistaken. After 6 years, changing from commodity to added value commodity, is like 10 times. So we are on that route now. So the reason of this green economy is within this strategy is shifting the commodity-based economy activity to more added value, advanced innovation. That's why I'm very much investing in education to make sure, like India is very much inspiring place to see how innovation flourishes. So we are happy. With this only, we are number 16. Imagine, if we do the right thing, we could be one of the top 5 economy in the world.
Whoa, suddenly so many. I think we're running out of time, but maybe just like 3 more questions. One.
So I come back next week, no?
And then on the back, and yeah, and then.
Which one first?
1, 2, 3. For the others, we're really sorry, but then Mr. Governor will stay around after the answer, right? For
I'm a PhD student from Birmingham. I'm civil service from Kota Sukabumi, so I'm staff in West Java. I did research on poverty in Sukabumi City implementation of program Keluarga Harapan. But I want to ask you about data management of poverty in West Java and also the challenging for you as a governor to tackle poverty in West Java. Could you please explain how to tackle the poverty?
There is always underprivileged side of the society. That's why you remember, you have to know our 5th principle, social justice. Our economy is not capitalistic per se, as I told you. It's not just competition, and the poor left behind. We have to be, compassionate. You can be rich, but still, You have to bring so solving the poverty is 3 stages. Number 1, subsidy for the poorest of the poor, because without subsidy they cannot live. Second, you have to provide jobs. So while I'm subsidizing, giving bansos or social security subsidy, I'm creating a series of job creation. That's why I come to London. I have 5 meetings all about investing green economy. 1 trillion rupiah creating 1,000 jobs. So last year, record-breaking investment, 136 trillion. West Java is Sulawesi #1 investment. It means I created 136 times 1,000 jobs. So that's second way to solve poverty. The third one, you have to bring this poor society to become entrepreneur in a small scale. That's why a series of microcredits, Muhammad Yunus style kind of, is part of our effort. So I think you have to remember, solving poverty, not just giving only. You have to create the second step, bringing job, so he can be survive with his own job, and also at the end, become a entrepreneur.
Thank you very much. My name is Vic. I'm a student here at Oxford studying diplomatic studies, and I'm from Singapore. I just wanted to ask you about your point on rising up the ranks within the G20 from 16 to 4 over the next few years, if what you say would come to pass. I think if that happens, your influence and your economic muscle within ASEAN will automatically also grow in strength. So with that context in mind, how do you think Indonesia's role in ASEAN will change or develop over the next few years as you move up the ranks? Do you see yourself taking a more influential role within the grouping and see yourself as a mediator to ease trade and technology tensions between great power rivalry?
Yeah, you have to understand also why we are number 16, because our economic volume is now getting big from manufacturing sector. But if you zoom in per capita income, we still not so good. Okay, jadi jangan terlalu bangga dulu ya. From the volume of GDP, we are number 16. But if you zoom in per capita income, we're still not so good. So it means again, you judge the country by 3 dimensions. First, human capital quality. Second is economy and infrastructure. Third is government reform. So all advanced society must having these 3 qualities: human capital, economy and infrastructure, and government reform. So that's what I'm doing to achieve these 3 qualities. We are building 9 toll roads in West Java. We are building the first high-speed train in ASEAN connecting Jakarta to Bandung. We are building digital economy, digital inclusivity. I'm changing the vocational school to become more proactive to the new trend, the mega trend issues. We have to respond of one, the China will be superpower. So what we do with China, okay. Second, fighting resources will become also a future trend. That's why I have to be independent in food security, for example. Okay, the issue of having a good connection. I'm not really satisfied with the United Nations performance when it comes to peace on many forms. I believe small organization, I think it's more effective. So ASEAN for me is more effective because it's just small organization, small institution solving our region. But if our region is become peaceful and cooperative, it's helping the whole world. So I think Indonesia must take more leading role as the biggest population. Did you know that I created peace dialogue before COVID? I'm sending Muslim ulama from West Java after I train them in English to come to UK, okay, to have a dialogue with interfaith dialogue with parliament, with city mayors. When they return, they said, "Pak Ridwan, UK is amazing. It is different than what we thought." UK is very inclusive. You have a mayor of London is Muslim. You have The ex-ambassador to Indonesia is Muslim. So not only economy, what I'm saying, because the peaceful region of ASEAN depend on Indonesia. And Indonesia is the biggest Muslim country adopting democracy, which is nice. Yeah. So Indonesia could be a role model, not only in economy, but also how we perceive security, peaceful goals with Indonesian context. Yeah. So I'm using social media to send all this speech of me every day. So I'm using social media to post my activity. I'm using social media to clarify accusation. I'm posting social media for educating my followers, my people. I'm using social media also to entertain, using reels and music and so on. Yeah, that's why I have 15.5 million.
It has to be fun to have that.
I'm a second biggest follower after President Jokowi. When I went to Stockholm, the foreign minister introduced me like this. Please welcome Ridwan Kamil, the governor of West Java, whose Instagram follower is more than our population. Because Sweden is only 10 million. So basically, we live in this era. So I'm using all this channel, to send all this vision directly to the mobile phone of my people also.
Okay, now we come to the last question.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gilang. I'm a former master's student in Oxford. My question pertains to the topic of your public communication. You're perhaps most known as a politician who likes to make jokes. My question is, what is the purpose of this kind of style of communication, and how do you go about this style, knowing that Indonesian audience is not like the West? You know how sensitive topics, when you make joke about them, it could really kill your political careers. How do you go about it? Second question, do you see yourself continuing this style of public communication when you rank up your political ladder? Maybe you become president, maybe become UN Secretary General. Do you think this style fits those level of your political ladder perhaps in the future?
Oh, I'm enjoying my existence as a governor. I still can walk just only with one bodyguard, right? If I become president, the whole state will be closed by Secret Service. So I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. Why I have to lots. I'm very humorous. Yeah, it's very scientific. It's not my style. When I was in US, I was invited by Facebook. So I sit in this Facebook building in Menlo Park, and they already have big data of my account. Mr. Kamil, this is your big data, your follower coming from this, blah, blah. One conclusion, Mr. Ridwan, if you post with serious content, serious communication style, interaction is very small. But if you make a humoristic kind of caption, the interaction will be very high. So it's very scientific. So maybe this is very Indonesian. Yeah. Sorry, I will speak in bahasa. It's difficult to translate in English ya. But jadi dulu saya bikin posting ya. Dalam rangka Piala Adipura, buanglah sampah pada tempatnya. Yang komen cuma 50. Saya hapus, gambarnya sama. Buanglah sampah pada tempatnya, buanglah mantan pada temannya. Nah, yang komen 5.000.
Okay, I'll just give a translation. So, so this is how he used jokes to create better political communication. So when he posted something, was it award, cleanliness award? Yeah. So cleanliness award, he just say that. Put your rubbish in the bin. That's something like that. But then, and nobody, only 50 commented. But when he posts the same pictures and says that put rubbish in the bin, put also your ex into the bin, 5,000 people commented.
By adding your ex into the bin, creating 5,000 comments, yeah, because it relates to the situation. So that's basically my style of communicating, yeah. And West Java people known for very humorous like Sulela, yeah. So if I become a president or vice president, I cannot do that because I have to politically correct. But governor still okay lah, yeah.
Okay, so that would be the end of our session. Very, very sorry for all the questions that we haven't been able to cover. We also got a few great ones in by online in Zoom. But once again, thank you very much, Governor Ridwan Kamil, for sharing your experiences with us. And also, thank you very much to the amazing audience. Thank you for your enthusiasm and have a great evening.